Over yonder stands little Maggie with the drowned glass in her hands. She's drinking away her troubles and courting another man. Pretty flowers were made for blooming, pretty stars were meant to shine, pretty women were made for loving. Little Maggie was made for mine. Over yonder stands little Maggie with the drowned glass in her hands. She's drinking away her troubles and courting another man. Last time I saw little Maggie, she was sitting on the banks of the sea with a 44 around her and a banjo on her knee. Over yonder stands little Maggie with the drowned glass in her hands. She's drinking away her troubles and courting another man.
All right, everyone out there in Banjo Land, Mike Hedding here. I had a request from someone in the audience if I could do a detailed backup lesson for the classic tune Little Maggie. So I had Clint come back in the studio and sing and play the song in the key of G. I would call this kind of an advanced beginner, maybe drifting into intermediate level arrangement. All the parts on their own aren't too tricky, but probably the trickiest part about this backup arrangement is it's just kind of long. So playing all 80 measures without making a mistake is probably really the trickiest part. But I think you'll be able to get this with some practice if you're a beginner or a kind of an intermediate level player. We've got 5 times through the backup, so 3 choruses and 2 verses, so a ton of material to work through. I'll break it all down note for note and also kind of tell you some of my thought process on why I chose particular roles, why I chose particular licks. Again, kind of let you in, so eventually you can create your own backup arrangements as well. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeddingMusic.com, and grab the full lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's the backup lesson to Little Maggie in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner backup lesson to Little Maggie. So we're just in the classic key of G, but you can play this with your capo on the 2nd fret if you wanted to play it out of A, or capo 4 if you wanted to play it out of B. But I just did it in the key of G. That's where Clint sang the song. So let's play the first 8 measures into measure 9, which will be like half of a solo, or half of a backup rather, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. It's into the beginning of measure 9. Let's do that again. And one time really slow. Okay, so we're going to start with just some kind of classic forward roll backup. And one thing I'm going to think about with this lesson and kind of this bluesy backup in general is omitting the 3rd note of the chord. So a G major chord, we won't get too much into the theory on this lesson, but basically and all the chords are made up of 3 notes. And so called the 1, 3, and 5. So those are the notes of the scale. For example, in G, it's your top 3 strings, G, B, D. And your B note is basically the one that kind of determines if it's a happy or sad song. So if I do G major, you kind of have a happy sound. And if I do G minor, you kind of have that spooky sound, right? So what you do a lot of times in bluegrass, and sometimes this is called the modal sound or the mountain sound, but basically we're going to be playing kind of minor sounding notes but we're going to be playing major sounding chords. So the chords in the background are major, but the kind of the lead notes you're playing are kind of more minor sounding notes. So one thing that I like to do in my backup and lead playing in this kind of bluesy style is just omit that second string. So I'm, you know, maybe in like a happier song, I would roll on that kind of open second string and kind of incorporate that more into my rolls. Where in this style, I'm going to kind of deliberately omit that second string and kind of play a lot of the third string, first string, and fifth string. That'll kind of give it this indeterminate sound where you're not really playing those happy major notes, and it'll kind of give it that bluesy element. So that's one thing, small thing I want you to think about, but it can really instantly make your song sound a lot bluesier by omitting that happy major third. So that's just one thing to think about there, omitting that happy major third. So let's get into the backup. So we're going to start with just a classic pinch, and then we're just going to kind of set the forward momentum with a forward roll. So I'm going to pinch strings 3 and 1, and then I'm going to do a 3-5 slide, and this is just going to kind of, again, introduce that bluesy element rather than doing like a 2-5 slide. I'm going to make it the third fret, which is going to make it bluesier. So I'm going to go 4-3-1 and then 5-3-1. Classic kind of forward roll. And I like that initial pinch. It's kind of like a big pow that starts the song. And then we have just a fill measure of G. So I'm going to hit the open third string and then just roll on the open strings again, omitting the second string. So I'm going to go forward, back to the third string, and then 4th string, 1st string. So we have. So we're just using that to basically set up an F chord, and then I'm going to go to my F chord, and again I'm going to do the same concept here. I'm going to put my second finger down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, but I'm not going to play that note initially in my roll, again, to kind of omit that third. So this is a roll I like to do. If you do strings 4, 2, and 1 in kind of this movable chord. So if you use strings 4, 2, and 1, again, I'm kind of omitting that third there. So I'm going to hit the 4th string, and then my 1st finger of my right hand, and then roll forward 4 times. So 4, 2, 1. And then one more thumb, and then open 3rd string, and then another fill lick. And then use the 3rd fret again instead of the 2nd fret. You might have done that 2nd fret in Scruggs style, something like. But now we're going to use the 3rd fret. And then lead down to a D, open D string twice, open 4th string. And then put your pinky up on the 3rd fret, your 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, basically like going into your F chord. And then I'm going to do a little backwards roll. And then take your pinky off, put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and bend that note. And then open 3rd string, and then 3-5 slide. We're using a lot of forward roll, and we're just basically kind of setting the groove and the tempo for this first basic part. So we have, let's do the F lick a few times. So we have. Really important right here, you have to use your index finger. So we have, and the other thing I might do on that F chord is move my hand a little bit closer, sweeten that sound up a little bit. And then move back. That's a cool lick too. It's just like a little D fill lick. And then I slide with my 3rd finger here. A lot of those 3rd fret slides I'll be doing with my 2nd finger of my left hand, but you could also do them all with your 3rd finger too. 3rd finger and 2nd finger, they are kind of interchangeable. So you have. Here, measure 8, a little lick, open 3rd string, and then an open 3 hammer on the 4th string with your 2nd finger, and then keep that finger down and do 3rd string, 4th string, and then put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret and do 3rd string, 4th string, and then open 3rd string. Actually, we're going to pinch strings 3 and 1. This is one of my favorite licks. It's kind of a modification on a Terry Bauckham lick, but we're going to go. after that ending vocal line. So we have... And that's getting us back into the verse part again. So it's a perfect little spot for a fill lick there. So we have, let's do that, those first 8 measures. We have... A little faster. Then right here, measure 9, pinch and slide again. This is the same as measure 1. Now a little lick, forward reverse roll kind of on this like half F chord. So this is a position I use a lot in this bluesier style where you'll have your first finger on the first fret of the second string, which kind of gives this cool, again, kind of modal, kind of majory, minory sound. And your first finger can stay there and your pinky can work this 3rd fret, and then your 3rd finger works the 3rd fret of the first string. So you can do like forward reverse rolls. So I'm taking my pinky on and off and my 3rd finger on and off. There's a lot of cool little licks you can do. Your 3rd finger can also go to that 3rd fret 4th string. Or something like... There's a lot of little licks that work out of that position. I'm basically kind of thinking of like my F chord there. So that's what I'm thinking about. And then I do a forward reverse roll. Also bending that 3rd fret 3rd string. Classic bluesy sound. So we roll into that. So we have... And then right here, move your 3rd finger quickly to the 3rd fret of the 4th string and put your F back down. So I'm going to do this as a roll I use a lot. Thumb twice. And then middle finger. And then roll forward. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Right here we are going to use the 3rd, so we're going to do an open 2 hammer-on. I like taking my 3rd finger off here. Open 2 hammer-on on the 3rd string with a forward reverse roll. And then open 3rd string, outside strings, and then open 3rd string, 3rd fret 4th string. This is just like a little walk to a D chord. And now a little lick on our D. So what you got to do here is put your first finger down first on the 1st fret, second string, 1st fret. Do an open 2 hammer-on while doing a forward reverse roll. It's like a D7 chord. And then on the way back, you don't hit the 3rd string, but you hit the 4th string, and then I'm going to do a 3/4 slide. And then back to the 3rd string. So you have... So a little theory there, we're playing with that 3rd again, we're sliding into that 3rd over the D chord this time. So that gives it just a cool flavor, a little tension there. And then so you don't slide too quick on that 3 to 4 slide. And then I use my thumb twice in a row there. And then 5, 3, 1. So using your thumb twice in measure 14 into 15, that'll help you not rush that slide. So you have... And then forward roll. And then this is just a fill measure. 3rd string, beat 1, and then outside strings, 8th notes, 2 and then 2nd finger and 3rd finger, 3, 4 on the 4th string, back up to the open 3rd string. That's just walking back up. So you have... So that's the whole chorus 1 backup. Let's play that whole chorus 1, and then we'll listen to me and Clint play it together. Here we go. Let's listen to me and Clint play that part.
1, 2, 3. Over yonder stands Little Maggie with the drowned troubles and courting another man. Pretty fly. 1, 2, 3. Over yonder stands little Maggie with the drowned glass in her hands. She's drinking away her troubles and courting another man. Pretty fly.
All right, so that's one time through the chorus backup.